Let me ask you this question. I don't think there's a debate about Asia Wilson being the best player in the world. I don't think there's a debate about her winning the MVP this year. Although I would say Caitlin Clark is in the conversation for league MVP at the very least. But who's the second best player in the world behind Asia Wilson, in your estimation?
Ooh, that's a great question. We had on the telecast yesterday, I believe that Asia Wilson, who I agree with you, she's the best player clearly in the world. Um, she's done things that I don't think I've ever seen. I don't even want to call her a big. She's just a great baller. She can shoot, she can pass. She's a two-way player. She could win
She's a
Defensive Player of the
warrior.
Year award. She is a warrior, and to a point. And I'm going to get to the end of your question. When you talk to Becky Hammond will say, if it's somebody's birthday on the team, the first person who's
Mm,
running out to get balloons and hats and cards and all the ribbons and all that stuff is Asia Wilson. She just has this
mm.
ability. And Dawn has told me this also. And I love Dawn Staley talking about a legend on
Yes,
the court
a
and on the
legend.
sidelines. She goes, this is the most incredibly kind human being, but a warrior on the court. Her teammates love her because of how she is. She is, you can count on her. If somebody says that they count on you in life, that's the highest
Yeah,
compliment you can have. So we have her. We already
absolutely.
nailed that. I believe she's going to be unanimous for the first time in the history of the W. Nafisa Collier, she's amazing. She just kicked butt at the Olympics. I knew, and I've
Hmm.
watched her, and she's just taken her game to another level. The same thing, with Sabrina and SQ. I mean, now she's attacking the rim more than she ever had. You knew she
Yes,
could
she
shoot
is.
the basketball, high IQ, in better condition. Talked about,
Hmm. What about
Caitlin
Brianna
Clark.
Stewart? What about Brianna Stewart?
Yeah, no, I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it, my
Okay, I'm
friend.
sorry.
You got to let
Okay.
older women speak. No, I'm only kidding.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me go to
I,
Caitlin. We already talked about her. She is in that grouping. Uh, I got to be honest. Enrique is in that grouping right now. She's
yeah.
unstoppable. If this team were to be able to get to the
Mm,
playoffs, Enrique is certainly in that conversation. And Stewie, I don't know who's been able to stop Stewie since UConn, right? 4 championships,
mm,
which is unbelievable in college. You go to the W, you win. I think she's got 3 or 4 championships. Somebody help me here,
right.
with Seattle. And, the
Okay.
Liberty are right on the cuff of being able to win a championship, which they've never won, and they're one of the original teams in this league. Um, Alyssa Thomas, okay, who's with Connecticut. People don't. She's like so underrated, and I don't know how an Olympian could be underrated. She was in the mix last year for Player of the Year, MVP. She doesn't do anything fancy. She's big, she's strong, she can do everything. She's like a Swiss knife. Um, she
Mm,
just makes people around her better. She's a great passer, defender, knocking down
okay.
shots. To win, you got to have somebody like her on the team. So there's a lot of people
Right.
in this mix.
Brianna she's got two NBA WNBA titles with the Seattle Storm, 2018 and 2020. I just looked that up just to make sure I confirm that. So she's got two. But let me ask you this: I've been saying of the mindset because of the greatness of an Asia Wilson, because of Kelsey Plum and others. And because of the greatness of their coach. I've been of the mindset, I don't care what I'm seeing from the New York Liberty. I love them. I'm a New Yorker. I'm always rooting for them. The New York Liberty, the Minnesota Lynx. Yeah, so I don't care. You bring me Seattle, Minnesota, New York. I don't care. You can't convince me that somebody's going to beat Las Vegas until I see it because of Asia Wilson. That's how I feel. Where are you about that? Are they three-peating, or do you have somebody in mind that you believe is going to knock them off?
I certainly think they can three-peat. I came in and spent a couple of days in training camp with Becky and watched how they prepared and how they played. Look, Sandy Brondel's a unbelievable coach. What she's done for the Olympic team in Australia when she was playing. Matter of fact, you probably didn't know this, Stephen A. I drafted Sandy Brondello to play for me in
Wow. I didn't know that.
1998 in the WNBA. So I've known Sandy a long, long time. Great mind. Cheryl Reeves won championships. She's amazing. She just won the gold medal. She won championships with the Detroit Shock and Rick Mahorn and Bill Lambier. They're good. And don't forget Connecticut. I mean, Stephanie White, she's tough. She's got DeWanna Bonner moving up the charts as an all-time leader in so many categories. And we talked about Alyssa Thomas. They're really good teams. So nothing is given. So let me say this about the Aces. I believe that they took this league by storm. And Becky is just done a marvelous job. I think when you're that good, if I were coaching in this league, I would take every one of her offenses and every one of her defenses, and I would dissect it, and I'd put what I liked into my program, and I think a lot of teams have. I think that's the highest compliment when somebody maybe takes your stuff and tweaks it a little bit. And the league is getting better because of these young players. But, Asia was on the Olympic team. Kelsey was on the Olympic team. Jackie Young was on the Olympic team. Chelsea Gray, who to me is one of the best passers in this league. She's unbelievable. And talking about passing the ball ahead. And, the other side of it is, they're coming off. I'm sure they're tired. There's 4 of them that played on the Olympic team. And they had one more of their teammates play for Spain in the Olympics. So they're a great team, and I fully expect them to be in the mix at the end. If everybody stays healthy, those 4 teams, this is going to be a super season for the W, and it already is.
If you had a choice, because I don't know a woman alive that knows more basketball than you. I just don't. I mean, I've met a lot of people that know, but I don't know a woman alive that knows more basketball than you, Nancy. So I'm going to ask you this. You had to select. You're in a position. You got the first pick in the draft, all right? And you have to select between Asia Wilson, Caitlin Clark, Breanna Stewart, or whomever. Who's the first player you're taking? Putting you on the spot, Nancy.
I am taking Asia Wilson. I'm going to build around her because she's going to make me a better defensive coach. She's not going to do anything crazy fancy. You know what? She's like the big fundamental. She's like Tim Duncan. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, is that a good analogy?
With more intensity.
Yes. And I'm going to build around her, and we'll go from there. I like people who have won championships. She won that certainly, with Dawn. At South Carolina, and we'll go from there. That's not to say that the others you just mentioned aren't spectacular, right? That's like saying MJ or LeBron. I mean, they're both great. It's just, what's your flavor?
Got it. Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark, are they the best backcourt tandem in the league?
Right now they are. I mean, it's pretty unstoppable. I mean, these guys are getting almost 55 points a game between them. And I mean, I don't know anybody in the league who's faster than Kelsey Mitchell without the ball. When she catches the ball, she's a blur, and she's unbelievable. And the way she's shooting right now, I mean, don't go under a screen. My thing is KYP. Do you know what KYP is?
I think so, but I'm not going to say it. I want you to say it.
No, it's okay. Know your personnel. Know your personnel. I've been saying this since my first coaching gig. Know your personnel. If you can't catch a bounce pass, don't throw them a bounce pass. If they can't catch it up high, don't throw it up high. Know know who's good and what they do well. These guys between Boston, Clark, and Mitchell, they're learning each other right now. Time's their greatest ally, and I think that the Fever are going to win championships somewhere down the road with this squad.